Hello YouTube, how's it going? This is the Crossover and I'm back with another video. Today we are going to be breaking down Pepperdine wing Maxwell Lewis, a player who has gone a little bit under the radar throughout the start of the collegiate season. So today we are going to be breaking him down. And so without any further delay, let's get straight into the video. One of the biggest bright spots in Maxwell Lewis's game is his finishing around the rim. He's comfortable not only putting the ball on the floor, but especially filling in open spots on the court, cutting to open areas around the rim to where his teammates can find him and he can flush in open shots. But he's also very comfortable slashing off the dribble. He does a great job catching and ripping through. He usually attacks the left side of the court. I think that could be a potential area of improvement for him, getting a bit more comfortable attacking with his right hand. However, he pretty much effortlessly gets to the rim with his left hand, with his size and his strength. As you can see here, he's just a very physical player, and he can finish with either hand off the dribble. And you just love to see that aggressiveness, especially in a player such as Maxwell Lewis, who thrives off taking a lot of jump shots. It's nice to see him at times, really slash and take advantage of his physical profile, 6'7", broad shoulders, long wingspan, so that's great to see. However, what really stands out about Maxwell Lewis offensively is just his shot making. Both, we can start off without the ball in his hands, where he's a good spot up shooter, has a nice high release most of the times when he is spotting up, and that's a part of his game I expect to translate to the NBA level. The mechanics are sound, and again gets nice elevation generally with his shooting hand, and the guide hand is kind of low. I think that could be an area of improvement potentially at the next level, but generally it's a sound form, and I expect him to be a plus shooter off the ball at the next level. However, what really makes Maxwell Lewis a great prospect is his ability to create his own shot, and that is something that I expect to translate very well to the next level over time. Of course, I think he is going to go through a period of adjustment, as we will discuss later. However, he does a very good job utilizing different jab steps, change of directions. As you can see here, attacking Jaime Vasquez doesn't have the craziest handle right now, doesn't have the most intricate one. However, he has 1 to 2 moves that he loves to go to, and again, he loves to take advantage of his height, attack smaller defenders, which is an area that I think will definitely translate well to the NBA level. Being able to attack mismatches, if he's going through a slump or what have you, defenses in the NBA level won't be able to just put their worst defender on him. Maxwell Lewis won't be afraid to go at them and attack him, and I think that his shot making will really determine his ceiling at the NBA level. However, I think Maxwell Lewis can definitely develop into a very good self-creator and overall shooter at the next level, given proper time and development. For every great shot that Maxwell Lewis does make, there are a couple where it just doesn't look great, and that's to be expected from a sophomore in college. However, I think the two biggest catalysts for his at times shot making inconsistencies are his handle, which, as I just discussed, isn't too complex. As I stated before, he only has a couple moves that he really goes to, and I think that can get him into a bit of trouble. And also, he has a bad habit of typically moving. It seems like he's always moving quicker than his mind is moving at times. So he has a bad habit of leaving the ball behind him or whatnot. So I think really diversifying his handle and improving that right hand to where he can use it off the dribble will definitely help him. And also, his shot release is a bit low off the dribble. And I know I mentioned before, off ball it's fine typically. However, on ball I think it can be a bit low at times, which gives his defender a better chance to contest a shot and really alter a shot. So I think improving, raising his shot release on ball will definitely help, and also diversifying his handle. However, I fully have faith in Maxwell Lewis improving in terms of his on ball skill set at the next level. Without a doubt, in my opinion, Maxwell Lewis's biggest swing skill for translating to the next level and reaching his ceiling would be his playmaking and his overall facilitating. I think generally he's going to be fine as a spot up shooter off ball, and I think the on ball stuff will progress. However, his ability to create for others is really a part of his skill set that, if he taps into, can raise his ceiling to the next level, in my opinion. And his playmaking, the vision isn't necessarily the issue, but the touch and the timing on some of his passes can be a bit of a problem, especially on dump offs and in pick and roll situations where the pass can be a second late, where you can clearly see him see the player open, but the pass will just be a step too late or whatnot. But generally the vision is great, and as you can see here, just the ability to make cross court passes like this, the ability to slash, take advantage of his gravity as a scorer and really get open looks for his teammates is something that I would really like to see him continue to develop and expand upon as the season goes along. And he's, for a player that you would think is just a shot creator, Maxwell Lewis has a lot of untapped potential as a playmaker, and he's capable of making bullet passes with one hand. He's capable of great touch passes in transition. He's also very unselfish, as you see here. Will pass up an open shot for a great shot. Open shot in the corner is better than the shot that he had open. So I really like Maxwell Lewis's playmaking. I think that this is a part of his game that if he really hones into, takes advantage of, and continues to round out, it can really elevate him to be a solid secondary ball handler and creator at the next level. Defensively, Maxwell Lewis is also a quality prospect. He thrives in terms of creating turnovers, both in the passing lanes and on the glass. What I mean by that is he has great timing for a two-guard at blocking shots. As you can see on this Jalen Clark block, was behind him the entire time, kept a good distance between them and timed that block perfectly. Also has this quality block in transition, and this is something that you see fairly often from Jalen Clark, and seeing a two-guard with his anticipation and his timing on the glass is something that you don't necessarily see all that often. In terms of playing passing lanes, he's very aggressive when he's one pass away, or he's the strong side defender, which is something that you really like to see, and he has the wingspan to go out there and gamble, and most of the times he is effective, and even when he's not effective, he does a good job getting back into the play. But again, this is another part of his game that I really like with Jalen Clark. He's not just a scorer, right? He has other parts of the game that he impacts positively that should help him see minutes from day one at the NBA level, right? He does a good job closing out on shooters as well when he's one pass away. Again, with that wingspan, he does a great job of bothering defenders. Even if he's not able to get out to the defender all the way, still with that wingspan, he can bother their shot. He's a fine defender on ball, does an alright job moving without the ball, following his defender around. That's something that we will talk about in just a little bit, but generally he does a fine job closing out on shooters, and on ball he's also a quality prospect, again with that length, with his quickness. He does a good job staying in front of his defenders. Generally he's not guarding a player that has the best handle in the world, for example a Jalen Clark, a guy who's more of an off-ball player, but still he's a fine on-ball defender, and I expect that to translate to the next level given time. And I think his effort could use a little bit more consistency, and that's something that we will talk about in just a bit. However, generally he's a plus defender at the collegiate level, and I think with time you can see that translate to the NBA level as well. And I also really like the turnovers that he generates. However, he's also very underrated on the glass. For a two guard, I haven't seen too many two guards with his timing on the glass. He does a great job anticipating defensive rebounds, and does a great job getting up there, securing them with his wingspan, with his length, utilizing that, and again has great timing, will get up higher than a lot of big men, and that's something that I really like to see, and I think that's something that will just help him get minutes at the next level. I think the biggest issue with Maxwell Lewis on the defensive side of the floor, where his flaws stem from, is an inability to consistently give effort on that side of the floor, and that kind of affects a multitude of different parts of the game, where at times if the effort isn't there and he closes out on a shooter, if he's a bit too upright, if his feet aren't necessarily set, he can get blown by, which causes his assignment defensively to get an open shot or create an open shot for others. Or on ball, as you can see here with Jalen Clark, he tries to hand check him, he's not really down, and that allows Jalen Clark to just blow by him and get that open floater. And that's something that we see fairly often with Maxwell Lewis, where it's just evident that the effort isn't there, and you compare that to plays where you do see the effort there, and you're just like, we need to see it more. We need to see it more, Max, right? So I think that's definitely something for him to continue to improve on, and just give full effort on the defensive side of the floor, because when he's showing the effort, it's great. And again, you're gambling, there wasn't really the need to gamble for that steal there. And I think another huge weakness in his defensive game is that he can just wander off ball defensively, especially on the glass. If shot goes up, he doesn't really, and he's not going for the ball. You know, when Maxwell Lewis grabs a defensive board, he's not necessarily boxing out. He's just going for the ball, right? So when he doesn't do that, he's often just standing around, and that leads to his man at times just getting an open shot around the rim. And you know, that's something that's definitely going to have to improve at the next level. Where as you can see here, he's ball watching, and he's just watching the ball, and Jalen Clark just gets this foul on him, and it's just unwarranted, right? He's just too good of a player to consistently make that mistake. And if he wants to see consistent minutes at the NBA level, consistent effort is something that he's gonna have to. And with that being said, we have reached the end of the video. Maxwell Lewis is a prospect that I like, that I expect to rise up big boards as the season continues to progress. I expect him to participate in the draft combine and really show out and solidify his draft stock as a surefire first round pick at the very least. I think he's a very tantalizing offensive prospect, you know, with the shot making that we discussed and the overall shooting. And if he can really tap into that playmaking, that facilitating, right, opening up open shots for his teammates, I could really see him becoming, you know, a solid secondary creator for an NBA team throughout his NBA career. I think defensively, as you guys can probably tell, I really like him defensively on ball. I think he has a lot of upside there, and I think he has even more upside as a help defender, but the effort is going to have to consistently be there so that he can not only thrive, you know, in terms of gambling to create turnovers, but also just be a consistent defender, right? I think he's going to have to learn that not everything has to be, you know, a steal, not everything has to be a turnover, you know, just play your role, right? Play within your role, you know, make that rotation, and you'll be fine. You know, you don't have to go for the steal all the time. So I think he definitely needs to grow there, and also I think the handle definitely needs to improve, and I think raising the release on when he is creating shots on ball are all things that are gonna have to improve. But I see the template there. I can see an NBA team banking on him becoming a solid, you know, offensive player, two-way player for them, really. And I expect Maxwell Lewis to again continue to rise up big boards and be a very hot name come June. However, that's the end of the video, guys. Let me know what you guys think about Maxwell Lewis in the comment section below. But aside from that, that's the end of the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Have a blessed day and take care. Peace.